Survival is the oldest instinct we have. The fight to hold on, to endure pain, to keep breathing when the world feels too heavy. But what if survival itself becomes a prison? What if the very thing meant to save us starts to destroy us from within? Today, we explore the paradox of survival, how it can lead to self-destruction, and how we can break free. Along the way, we will draw wisdom from three powerful books: Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, and Scott Peck's The Road Less Traveled, and James Clear's Atomic Habits. Let's begin. Jonah's life reads like a survival manual written in scars. Addiction, broken relationships, job losses. He survived them all, but his survival feels hollow. Each day, he wakes not to live, but to endure. His world is a series of crises, each one a reminder that he's still here, but barely. Survival without meaning is empty. Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor, understood this deeply. In Man's Search for Meaning, he taught that even in the darkest conditions, finding purpose is what keeps us truly alive. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Jonah's struggle is a quiet echo of this truth. Survival is more than breathing. It's about why we breathe. Jonah clings to old habits, late nights, numbing substances, isolation. They are familiar and safe, but they slowly eat away at his self-worth and potential. His survival instincts keep him locked in patterns that suffocate growth. James Clear's Atomic Habits reveals how tiny habits shape our identity. Destructive habits, though seemingly protective, form invisible chains that bind us. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. For Jonah, survival meant repeating old scripts. To live, he had to rewrite them. Jonah believed strength meant pushing through pain alone. No one saw his silent battles. This toughness isolated him, feeding a loneliness that no survival instinct could fix. And Scott Peck in The Road Less Traveled reminds us that true strength is not endurance alone, but disciplined growth and love, especially self-love. Life is difficult. This is a great truth. Once we accept this, we can transcend it. Jonah's survival was a mask. Real strength meant lowering it. After a near breakdown, Jonah met a mentor, someone who taught him survival wasn't just about holding on, but about intentional living. The journey shifted from fight or flight to deliberate growth. Frankl's focus on meaning, Clear's emphasis on habits, and Peck's teachings on love and discipline all converge here. Survival was no longer enough. Jonah had to live. Between stimulus and response there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. That space is where change begins. Jonah started small, replacing harmful habits with nourishing ones, reconnecting with family, and discovering passions that spark purpose. Each step was fragile but filled with promise. Atomic Habits teaches that tiny changes compound over time. Frankl's meaning-driven approach gave emotional fuel. Peck's road of discipline helped Jonah stay on path. Small disciplines repeated with consistency. Every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. Jonah's survival transformed into thriving, one meaningful step at a time. Survival without purpose can erode the soul, but when we combine meaning, discipline, and small intentional habits, survival becomes rebirth. Jonah's story is not unique. It is the story of anyone caught in the shadows of their own survival instinct. What patterns are you holding on to that keep you merely surviving, not living? Where can you find your space between stimulus and response, your power to choose? Navigating the thin line between survival and self-destruction. When we think of survival, we often picture resilience, toughness, and the ability to endure hardship against all odds. Survival is deeply wired into us. It's primal. But what Jonah's story reveals is a subtle, often overlooked truth. Survival alone is not enough to truly live. In fact, survival without purpose or growth can become a slow form of self-destruction. Understand the difference between surviving and living. Surviving is about holding on, barely keeping your head above water. Living is about breathing deeply, moving forward with intention and joy. Viktor Frankl's man's search for meaning teaches us that a life without meaning can feel like an endless survival mode, painful, exhausting, and lonely. To move beyond survival, we must find our why, our purpose, that reason to wake up each morning. Ask yourself, what is my reason for living beyond just getting through the day? Without this clarity, the habits that keep us safe may only keep us trapped. Recognize how habits shape your reality. James Clear's Atomic Habits emphasizes that it's not grand gestures, but tiny, repeated actions that shape who we become. Jonah's self-destructive habits felt like survival tactics, but they chained him to his pain. Reflect on your daily habits. Which ones genuinely support your growth? Which are familiar comforts, but ultimately harmful? Change isn't about instant transformation. It's about small, intentional shifts that accumulate into profound change. Embrace vulnerability as strength. Jonah's illusion of strength was his solitude and his silence, and Scott Peck's The Road Less Traveled challenges the cultural notion that strength means never needing help or showing weakness. True strength is embracing life's difficulties with honesty, seeking help when needed, and practicing self-love. If you're holding on to pain or hardship alone, remember that vulnerability is not weakness. It's the first step toward healing. Cultivate the space between stimulus and response. One of the most powerful teachings from Viktor Frankl is the existence of a space, the moment between what happens to us and how we respond. This space is where our freedom lies. Survival instincts push us toward automatic reactions, often fueled by fear or pain. But conscious living invites us to pause, reflect, and choose. Practice mindfulness and self-awareness to build this space in your life. The more you can consciously choose your responses, the more you move from mere survival into empowered living. Find purpose through connection and contribution. Jonah's turning point came when he connected with someone who showed him a different way. Human beings are wired for connection. Meaning often grows through relationships with others, with a cause, or with something greater than ourselves. Look beyond yourself. How can your journey of survival inspire or help others? How can you contribute meaningfully, even in small ways? The story of survival is not just about enduring hardships, but about transforming them into stepping stones for growth. Your survival instincts may keep you alive, but your conscious choices, habits, and connections are what make life worth living. Like Jonah, you have the power to turn self-destruction into rebirth, one deliberate step at a time.